Today, we're gonna be in the outskirts of San Antonio in Cibolo, Texas, checking out this new community by Chesmar Homes. It's called Mesa Western. Every home in this neighborhood is gonna be on an oversized lot, which is awesome. But my favorite feature of this neighborhood is gonna be the location. We're just 2 minutes off of I-35, which gives you convenient highway access, but alongside 35, we're gonna have a bunch of shopping, dining, retail space, and we're right in between New Braunfels and San Antonio, giving you access to both of those cities and everything that they have to offer. Alongside that, again, we're in Cibolo, Texas. For those that are PCS into Randolph, we're gonna be a very quick commute to the base, which is amazing. We're gonna give you guys a tour of this gorgeous model by Chesmar Homes and let you know what's going on in and around the neighborhood. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, my name is Quentin Starks and I'm be your realtor for the next few minutes. If you do me a huge favor, go down below and drop a like on the video. It truly does help support the channel. And if you don't wanna miss out on anything when it comes to the San Antonio real estate market, we encourage you guys to subscribe. Without further ado, let's go check out this gorgeous property. This is gonna be the Adelaide floor plan. It is a 4-bed, 3.5 bath, just under 2,900 square foot, 1 story. As you can see, these lots are so big that you can fit 3-car wide garages. So this one does have a 3-car wide garage. They have a multitude of other floor plans other than just this one. But again, this is their model home. They currently have inventory between 570,000 up to 800,000. So that's kind of more or less the price point in this particular neighborhood. And then something that I always like to highlight is Chesmar is very known for having this like stone and stucco look. So most of their elevations are gonna have some kind of combination of the two. Nonetheless, this particular floor plan has this really nice covered patio space. It's pretty big compared to what you typically see from front porches, if you will. And then as we walk in, something I do wanna mention is Chesmar is a semi-custom home builder. So the colors in here are what they particularly picked for this model, but you can build from the ground up and completely customize your own home. Nonetheless, as you walk in, really nice height in the ceilings here. These are gonna be roughly 13-foot ceilings. And you can see all the way to the back. On the right, you're gonna have your first bedroom. This is gonna be front facing, so that window front faces the front of the home. Pretty good sized window and bedroom. And it does have its own bathroom, single vanity there. You do have just a shower, no tub in here. And then you do also have a pretty good sized closet as well. I probably would use this as a mother-in-law / like guest room just because it has its own bathroom and it's tucked in its own area. And while we're talking about, or why we were talking about that semi-custom look, they painted all the doors in here black. They're gonna be 8-foot doors, which is nice. Something you could do if you wanted to, don't necessarily have to. Again, semi-custom, you can do pretty much whatever you want, obviously within reason. Nonetheless, you also do have a study in here. This is the sales rep office, so it's kind of configured weird, but I do like how you have the opportunity to put a desk in the middle with the outlet there. And then you have the French doors here with the windows up top. Give you guys a peek at the living, dining and kitchen really quick. Really, really nice property. Excited to show you that. But let's go check out the second bathroom as well as another bedroom. So half bath here, obviously for guests, so they don't have to go into one of the rooms to use the bathroom. And then here is gonna be the second bedroom. So significantly bigger than the last one. It is also front facing. That's kind of a window to the patio up front, linen closet there. And it's almost like a Jack and Jill. So it has its own vanity in here that's a decent size. You also have a medicine cabinet, which I love that Chesmar does. But it has a door here that can close and lock so people can use this section, which is the toilet tub shower combo, with another door that locks, obviously if somebody in the bedroom's using it. And then another, and this one's oversized vanity, but another vanity that leads to the hall, in which we'll see here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you kind of the layout of that so you can get a feel from this side, and then we'll see it from the other way. But we then walk into the heart of the home. So as you saw, living room on the right, that flows really well into the kitchen. And then we have the dining tucked in that far back left corner, but we'll start over here with the living space. Pretty good sized room again, and you do have ample windows up top as well as the sliding glass doors on the left over here, bringing in a good amount of natural light. In this configuration, they did decide to put a fireplace, which is going to be electric, and they mounted the TV above it. So something you could go with or don't have to go with, but I do actually like that. Gives a centerpiece to the room. Like I mentioned, flows really well into the kitchen. This particular floor plan does come with the double island, which Chesmar is pretty known for, which is awesome. Absolutely love it. But you have a bunch of countertop and cabinet space in here. So they went with kind of a two-tone. The bottom are black, the top are white, but just look at all that cabinet space and countertop space on that side. And then you do have the islands too that have more countertops and cabinets. Either side also has kind of like an eat-in area, which is nice. And then if you look at the back wall over here, even more cabinets and countertop space. They also did built-in, so this is gonna be your stovetop. They do have the opportunity to get gas in here via a propane tank, which is nice, so you could have gas cooking. And then the built-in oven over there with the vent hood up top. And I love when they put the sink over the island so you can entertain still in the living space if you want to. Pretty deep sink. That is for the garbage disposal, and then to the right is a water filtration system for reverse osmosis. And then boom, like I said, another island on this side. It really gives you so much opportunity and versatility when it comes to prep space and eat-in. Like I said, that's gonna have eat-in space for stools, as well as this island, which is awesome. You have the fridge nook here with your built-in microwave up top. And then you still have quite a large dining area. This is really tucked in its own space. You could call this a formal by all means, and you could fit a huge table. I mean, they only have an 8-seater in here, but easily 10 with the opportunity for a 12-seater. And then you have a lot of nice natural light coming in from these windows, and you can already see how much room you have from your neighbor there, which is quite nice. Over here is going to be the pantry. So for the size of the home, I will say this isn't the biggest pantry, but it's still a pretty good size for a lot of food. But you do have all the cabinet space in here. If it isn't enough for you, right, you can easily put different food items and store a bunch of stuff up there. Here's gonna be the final secondary bedroom. So still a pretty good sized bedroom. By all means, you can fit a bunch of furniture and it's perfect for kids. And then they all do have a nice walk-in closet, which is nice. Across is gonna be that bathroom we saw. We'll take a look at that again here in a second, but you also have the laundry room here. So decent sized laundry room, nothing too crazy, but they did give you space right here for an appliance. That is where your 3-car garage would start, and you have a mud bench. But like I mentioned in the video, Chesmar is a semi-custom home builder. So as you can see, this is their design center. They have all the selections in here to choose from. Left was flooring, more flooring. You have backsplash designs with more tile. That's gonna be the brick and the stone for the exterior, just depending on what you wanna go with. You have carpet, cabinets, you have everything. Countertops are gonna be in that Husky tool shed. So literally anything you wanna choose from, you certainly can. This is the 2-car section of the garage. That would be the 3rd bay over there. They only have it separated because it is a model home, but it would be fluid throughout the whole way if you wanted it to. So wanted to give you a look at that just so you know more or less the design options you have, and you can really see how custom of designs you can get with. But that's that single vanity that goes into the tub shower combo with the toilet into the bedroom. And then again, this bedroom was front facing. It was in that front hallway, and we can get back to the heart of the home this way. So pretty good layout. I know we're popping up the floor plan as we walk through, so that will give you a pretty good understanding. But again, I wanted to give you more or less the orientation to get back to the heart of the home. Let's go outside now, check out the lot, see what's going on in the backyard as well as in this neighborhood. As we approach the backyard, I did open up the sliding glass doors just to show you the indoor-outdoor living. Pretty good sized covered patio going on here. They did put that fireplace in the back. Not the most necessary item. Nonetheless, it isn't standard, so something you don't have to get if you don't want it, or you could always upgrade and get it, as well as the sliding glass doors. Normally there would just be one door rather than the sliding glass doors, as well as the second entry point. But again, one of those things you can get if you do want. If you don't want it, you don't need it. Nonetheless, as you can see, pretty good sized lot. So the width is gonna be the biggest thing here. They're not too much deeper than a typical home would be. So you don't have the most backyard space, particularly in this one, because it is at the front of the neighborhood, which are gonna be the smaller lots, but towards the back, you will have deeper lots. Nonetheless, still enough space for the dog, kids to hang out, play back in the backyard, or put a playground, pool, really whatever your heart desires back here. You have so much opportunities in this backyard. So you're probably thinking, what makes this neighborhood so desirable? And the real answer is the lot sizes. I mean, we've talked about it throughout this whole tour. You have 77 and 85 foot width lots that are gonna be anywhere from 120 to 150 feet deep. So plus or minus quarter of an acre. A lot of my clients truly love that, a little bit more space from their neighbors and a little bit more space in the back to enjoy, whether it's with the kids, pets, whatever the case may be. In the neighborhood, regarding amenities, you're not gonna have anything too crazy, like a playground, park area, some walking trails, and the annual HOA is gonna be $800, yearly. The tax rate for the neighborhood is just under 2%, which is awesome. And then if you look outside the neighborhood, we're gonna be in Cibolo, Texas. So you have everything that Cibolo Shirts pretty much has to offer. We're also just, again, 2 miles or so off of I-35 with a bunch more dining, retail, and entertainment opportunities. My personal favorite thing about this area is gonna be Harmon's Barbecue. I personally love it, but that is kind of what's going on in and around here. Again, we're gonna be relatively close to base for those that are PCSing, Randolph Air Force Base that is. So you will hear a little bit of the planes going by every once in a while. So if that is something that you're not a fan of, keep in mind with this neighborhood, we're relatively close there. And then the proximity to San Antonio and New Braunfels is also quite nice. So that's kind of what's going on in and around the neighborhood. Let's get back to the rest of the tour and check out the primary suite. As we go back in the home, I'm gonna go through this left side with the sliding glass doors, but you would have this door here as well to enter. Tucked in the back behind the kitchen is going to be your primary bedroom. So it is a really good sized primary bedroom. They elected to put the vinyl into this room as well rather than the other rooms. Again, with them being a semi-custom home builder, you have the opportunity and the optionality to do whichever you'd like. I love how they frame the back of the room with all of those windows, and you do have a tray in the ceiling. Then we walk into your primary bathroom, really nice primary bath. That centerpiece of a tub splits both the vanities, so you do have a vanity for each partner. They're gonna be quite large with a bunch of storage. Before we go to that second one, you do have a water closet here in the front. And then again, you do have that second vanity right there. Both pretty good sizes. Window in the middle with 3 up top. And then in the back, they did a full stand-up shower. And let me actually get over here so you can see the whole thing. Tiled it all the way up. This is gonna be foundation inset, and I love how they put the diverter away from the actual fixture. And then behind me, you can see me in the mirror, is gonna be the closet. So pretty good sized closet. They took the rods all the way up, which is nice, but I love how they're separate. So you almost have one side for each partner, which is nice. And then they did put the low voltage in here as well. So to give you orientation, let's walk through the primary bathroom, through the primary bedroom. Again, this door goes out back. You also have the sliding glass doors to my left to the backyard. That is going to be the living space, hallway to the front of the home, and then you have the kitchen and the dining there. All in all, I thought this was an awesome property. Chesmar never disappoints, but I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. So go down below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and your favorite feature of this home. Alongside that, if you're looking at making a move, whether it's Cibolo or anywhere really in the greater San Antonio area, I want to be your real estate resource of choice. If you go down into the description, you'll see all my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out so I can be a resource for you and your family. If you want to see a home tour similar to this one, click here and we'll see you on the next video.